Hi guys, it's what time? 6:30 morning, and I'm going to try to maybe keep that light. Just wanted to share that we need to slow down. We need to slow down because it just helps everything settle down, find its own place. For instance, I realized yesterday that I could walk slower, in a slower manner, and that it was much more agreeable for me to look at that. Sun is rising, the colors are wonderful. Yeah, just I think that on any level, being slow is how is the expression in English? It's a little takes you far, something like that. I don't know, I don't recall. But can you hear the birds chirping? Because it's the sunrise. I think it's so gorgeous to hear them celebrate life. And there's a lot of fog this morning, which is very, very nice. And yeah, I think on every level you can, oh my goodness, look at that. The colors are not as much real as they are with my own eyes, but this is fine anyway. Look at that. And whether it's for walking, if you want to just go for a walk and take a deep breath, and that you want to, I think this is one of the most beautiful mornings I ever witnessed here in the area since I arrived here. So so wonderful. If you want to have some sort of a better walk, a better way to think, a more efficient way to think, because our own ego wants to always to enhance things and whatever, to find for the ego, what is interesting is to be efficient. So it can be some sort of a carrot, to just sometimes when you don't want to do something, or sometimes when you do want to go for a walk, but you're like, whenever you are at home, you're like, I want to go for a walk, and then when you are walking, you are thinking of the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And I think this is the the one thing about the ego is that it's always trying to anticipate and to prepare and to whatever, you know, it's always projected. And I think this is the reason why we, or at least I'm sharing that, but you don't have to follow anything. It's not advising anything here, but I just witnessed for myself that sometimes practicing slow can help a lot, because it just helps you to slow down all of your body mechanisms and your biological mechanisms, and it's very mysterious how we are able to say, let's be slow for a bit, which I think proves, or doesn't prove, because it doesn't have to be proved, but proved. It proves that we are somehow kind of detached from any experience that is happening, because we have this opportunity, this ability to take a step back and to say, okay, I'm not constricted, I'm not determined by for instance, whenever I feel in a panicking moment, or when I feel very tense or very activated because I just, for instance, spent the last couple hours on my computer, and computer and screens can be for myself very intensifying and can be very stressful. So yeah, we have this opportunity, this ability to just propose something like, okay, let's take a few steps back and let's try to, or not even trying, because everything of what I'm mentioning here is something happening by itself in the moment. It's no program. I'm not telling myself you should be slower, because that cannot be harmful, but that can be something. It's only an idea, you know. It's not only a thought, and thoughts are obviously very linked and related to the ego mind. So when you feel that you need to slow down for a bit, or that you are already slowing down because you need to, what is happening is, I don't know, I think that yes, it seems that you are able to see with more clarity all of those thoughts that always are connected to emotions and contractions in the body, energetics, movements that sometimes or often are painful. And when you are slower, you have this ability, like in the movie The Matrix, you know, the bullet moment, I think, or the bullet time thing. Whenever, I don't know if you saw the movie, but yeah, I was just thinking that we say to watch television, but to see a movie. It tells everything of the difference between television and cinema. And in The Matrix, you have this moment where the hero is seeing the time in slow motion, and I believe this is actually real. This is the real thing, you know. I'm going to try to be a bit like that. Being slower even helps me right now to find my words and my thoughts with more easiness, could I say, with more ease. And it's just more satisfying to just be able to be more clear to yourself, just for yourself, not to impress anyone or whatever, but just it's more satisfying right here, right now for me, because I'm able to be more clear for myself in what I want to say, more to the point, more aligned. I feel right now in my body that I'm more aligned, more in harmony. I can feel the harmony right now. And I think that this harmony can come whenever you have too much energy in your head. And I think this is one of the most, one of the things that we can say about Western culture and Western society, even though right now we could say that the the whole world is globalized. So you cannot really say that there is nothing else than Western culture. But we could also say that there are few melting pots here and there that makes the difference between, France and Asian countries, for instance. And that we still have a different perspective, whether you are living here or there on the planet. And what I want to say is, yes, I think that in my experience, the way I was raised in the whole French society is turned towards. And I'm saying that I know that this is one perspective. I know that even in France there are different perspectives and people that were raised in a different way, so it's perfect. But in my own perspective, what I can say and see is that we are many yet to think that we have to be very speedy, that life is supposedly about to be very efficient all the time, that you have to be very fast, that you have to go fast to just reach. And what is interesting, I was listening to someone on YouTube that was saying something very interesting, I think, and very right, is that when you are in Paris, you watch people in the street or in the subway, and it's very interesting because it's like the whole society and people are just absolutely sure that they know where they go and why they go as fast as they do, as if everything was very sure, very how the ego is working. It just wants to know everything, be very certain, very. He wants to know everything, be that that thing that is very high on his position. And can you see that? Yes, it's very, very beautiful. And so at some point it's very funny to see people in Paris and in many big cities, because it's like ants. You get just ants that seem to know what they have to do and where to go, and that's it, and I think that even though I'm not blaming anyone here, because we all have to do things, but I'm just witnessing something as a mechanism, as a system, not as a personal responsibility. But I can tell that we could benefit from just go slower. Right now I'm just walking slower, so maybe I'm somehow, my mind would think or could think that I'm just wasting time because I will take more time to walk on my usual path. Maybe I will use 15 or 20 minutes more, but right now I'm just witnessing that this is the point. We have to waste time, because whenever you waste time or you intentionally create space where you do nothing, you have this just basic opportunity, but somehow we kind of lost it, even though it's like maybe the most important moment of our life is when we dedicate ourselves to ourselves, which is sometimes called meditation. It is just embracing or tasting life as it is, without always finding something that is worth the time, And it's so I'm like, oh, it's very interesting because I have emotions right now. Like, I want to cry. I feel tears in my eyes because I'm thinking about my vacation with my parents in my childhood, and I think this is very related because it's a link in between our we have a society where we have to work a lot. I think in my experience we have to spend a lot of time working to earn our living, to make a living. And of course, if you ask someone, or in my experience, if I ask someone if they could spend their entire life being on vacation, would they do it? And I think for the most answers I could get, people would answer yes, but I have to work because I have to make a living. And the point is not discussing that, but what I want to share is that we need more micro pauses, micro breaks in our lives, because 5 minutes here, 2 minutes there of doing nothing is like a very, very important moment of regeneration and being on vacation. And in my experience, when I was a student, but I'm still a student, but when I was younger, something like 10 years ago, I thought that it was very weird for me to think about that moment when I would become someone with a job. And only in France we are lucky, we have 5 weeks of vacation when we are on a job, vacation which are with salary, so it's great. I know that it's not in every country, and we earned that right because we fought for it in France. But what I want to share is that the more we have vacation in our life, moments that when we allow ourselves to be on vacation, to be free from our own tyranny, because I think that the ego mind is an actual tyranny, and I think that with the perpetual exposition to social media, which works a lot on comparison, and the thing that this feeling that we would not do um, how to say that we wouldn't be enough sufficient. We would have to work more, because I don't know, I think this is the whole thing with capitalism. It works with a very deep way of influencing your psyche, your own psyche. You don't realize, but just being on social media, and even though you're not on social media, you can feel in the air that this society, this economic system, requires us to be always more and more and more exposed to stress, to be, it's more than work. It's always stressed out and always doing something, because, and I feel it, at least in my experience, that I felt almost shame and guilt not doing anything, and I still feel like that nowadays, because, and I have to, oh my goodness, I really believe this is the most beautiful morning I ever witnessed in this area. I never saw that much fog. It's so beautiful. I cannot zoom right now, but this is so beautiful. And this is almost my own duty and my own dedication to myself every day, is to offer myself moments where I just find a shelter inside of me, because this is, we cannot accept that. We cannot accept to be always under stress, because I think it literally kills people. It's just you cannot. I know that biologically you cannot sustain this intensity, and yeah. And I was mentioning in the beginning of the video that the great thing with being slow is that you can more easily allow yourself to take a break. For instance, right now I'm going to take a break, and it's going to be easier because I practiced yesterday and today, and everything is always changing and evolving. Whoa. And yeah, I practiced, and I will keep practice, because I'm feeling it right now in my body. Is pure love. It's pure love to be that aware, that available, to not be always on the rush. So yeah, let's take a break. I'm not going to stop the video. I'm going to leave the silence, and you're going to be able to practice with me that presence, that availability to yourself, and create thus a paradise, because I really believe that this is paradise, to offer that, especially in our current situations. I'm grateful for making this video today. I think that's one of the best ones of my channel. I can feel it already. I want to share that it's not very interesting to live our lives constantly feeling that we have to go somewhere and to reach some point or to succeed, you know, because you cannot really appreciate what you are going through right now. And this is what I was talking about a few minutes ago, about being slow and, you know, feeling like in slow motion, being more aware of what is going on, your own patterns that can be difficult, or that you would want to be free of. It's just, you have to taste that. I cannot really explain it. It's just so much difference, and it seems that the more you practice, the more you are able to make that your own home, you know. And I think this is home, and this is the reason why we don't really need to be very rich and very we don't have to have a big house and big you know, have a lot of stuff to be happy. It's because I think that even though comfort is great, I think it can be as well there is no better way, you know. If you were born with a silver spoon, or if you were born very poor, I think we'll all have somehow a different but similar way of experiencing those psychological blockage. And being born with a silver spoon, I was thinking about that lately, you know, can create a lot of family issues. And I think that I won't talk about that right now, but I think there are a lot of trouble and issues whenever you are surrounded with money, because it creates manipulation, all of the toxic patterns that we can see. It's not absolutely correlated with only rich families. I'm not saying that, but you can see many sick patterns with very poor families. But yeah, I guess it's the same for each and every one on that level. It will be a bit different, but you know what I mean when I say that it's gonna be somehow the same. And somehow I think that the destination is the same. When I spoke about home, doesn't make any sense for me if we didn't have the same chances to find that home that can be called happiness as well, you know. Doesn't make any sense to me that there would be differences, you know, from how do we say, injustice. Of course injustice exists, but not talking about this one. yeah, the pursuit of happiness, I guess. Anyway, I think I'm going to end the video here, and I'm glad because I have this feeling that it's a soother landing here. I had this feeling lately that my previous videos were, somehow in the end, when I was finishing the video, I was feeling that it was kind of abrupt, raw, and right now I feel that it's more smooth, and it's, I like it. So have a good one, take care, and bye bye, see you.